When some homeowners become upset with their neighbors constantly parking in front of their homes, they handle it with physical deterrence. Other homeowners voice their frustrations out loud.
Other people did not park in front of people's house out of regard and respect.
Just call the police if you're not having a good day.
In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a homeowner uses both tactics when dealing with a neighbor who he claims repeatedly knocks over a garbage can, positioned to deter people from parking in front of his house. After seeing the bins getting knocked over on his doorbell camera, the homeowner steps out on his front porch to address the neighbor across the street.
You hit my garbage can? I hope so. Pick it up. You kick my ass.
The homeowner claims his neighbor previously had a vehicle parked in the space for an extended period of time. And after several requests to stop go unheard, the homeowner's use of garbage cans as a barricade only seems to upset the neighbor, who they claim repeatedly knocks them down.
Get my I'll call the cops on you.
You put my down so I can pull my truck in the yard.
That's my property.
I'll just pull my truck up.
Go ahead. I'll smash the windows out of it. Go ahead.
The salty language continues back and forth across the street, with no signs of stopping. Seemingly fed up with his neighbor, the homeowner walks back inside. While it's not known if the police are called, there doesn't seem to be any deterrent stopping the feud between these two. Orange County, California is known for its great weather and beautiful beaches. The warm and laid-back atmosphere is one of the many reasons local resident Joshua Chang chooses to call the OC home.
I like my neighborhood. My apartment complex has a really nice vibe to it when I walk outside.
But just like in other apartment complexes around the country, his community isn't immune to tense confrontations between neighbors, something he experiences firsthand.
Hey, Cameron, you just let the dog go to the bathroom right over here. This loser here.
My first interaction with my neighbor, I was actually just walking with my dog, and then all of a sudden, he starts yelling at me.
Josh did that right in front of the little window.
Even if my dog did poop in the area, I would always pick up after.
While Josh reports his neighbor to the apartment complex, their crossing of paths in the ensuing days becomes even more alarming.
Who are you recording, buddy?
What are you doing, bro?
Who are you, dude?
I see him park his truck, he's charging towards me and just yelling, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
Hey, what are you doing?
Sharp with me, buddy, you get your ass kicked.
What are you doing? I didn't do anything, bro. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing?
The confrontation continues on the sidewalk, where more threats and insults are exchanged.
Get your ass kicked with me.
Okay.
Hey, dude, why don't you come get something then?
He comes back right at me, trying to be the aggressor.
It's running your mouth, huh?
Sorry, man. I like to be smart about things. I'm not a dumbass.
To yourself, bitch. What?
I was really angry at the situation. I felt good about it, to be honest, too, because I stood up to him.
A few days later, Joshua and his friend are walking their dogs when they're approached by the neighbor. So Joshua begins recording again.
You want to kiss me, bitch?
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
No one's touching you, little girl. Come by my place and I'll rip you.
I'll walk where the I want to walk. It's my house.
Bitch.
He just really looked like he was about to, like, explode. I immediately was scared.
The man and the friend stand nose to nose trading barbs when suddenly the man turns his attention towards Joshua.
I never touched you.
I'll tell you to your face, bitch, if you want a problem.
I was already ready to throw a punch, but unfortunately, I had the phone in one hand and I had my leash on the other hand, so I couldn't really throw a swing if I wanted to.
Go back up to your little house, Cinderella.
Thankfully, the men stop short of trading blows, but the neighbor turns back to the friend who's had enough of his posturing.
Stop touching me, dude.
I'm the one touching you.
Yes, you are. You are touching me. Get the away from me.
Hey,
touch me.
This is for you, bitch.
The bag that I cleaned my up with? Yeah.
Finally, the man walks away without further incident.
You are a bitch.
Immediately, the first thing we do is we call the cops, but he wasn't arrested.
Little bitch.
According to Josh, the authorities are of little help.
I have reported to the complex and as well as the HOA, but no one wants to deal with it.
Josh now takes additional steps to give himself peace of mind.
I bumped up my security where I can see my cameras. I have my pepper spray ready.
Okay.
But most importantly, Joshua believes that recording incidents when they happen is the best defense, and he will continue to stand his ground against his neighbor's aggressive behavior.
If I don't record anything, it's gonna go to being a he said, she said kind of thing. So I want to record just so at least people are aware of what is going on.
Hey, what are you doing?
Sharpen me, boys, you get your ass kicked.
After living in the same Jersey neighborhood for 3 decades, 63-year-old psychologist Lorraine Valenti dreams of a new life in the country.
My goal had always been, when my daughter went off to college, that I was always going to sell the house. I always wanted to live on a farm.
So, Lorraine buys a 64-acre homestead in rural Kentucky after the 96-year-old owner passes away. She lives there alone with her roosters and cats.
I wanted the peace and quiet and solitude of living in a rural area. It's no longer a dream. It's turned into a bit of a nightmare.
The problems start with the neighbors who own the 100-acre property next to Lorraine's.
My neighbors, male and female, blondes, they're married. They've got children and grandchildren. I think they're both in their late 50s.
The neighbors claim to have an agreement with the previous owner that a 1.6-acre parcel of land near Lorraine's house belongs to them.
So my introduction to my neighbor was him showing me where he told me my property began. And that was false.
A few months later, Lorraine finds her neighbor's wife on the disputed piece of land.
Right now, you are trespassing my property.
Until a judge tells me that I am not on my property, that I have used for 40 years I'm on it. And I advise you to not come any closer.
Despite the warning, Lorraine decides to confront her neighbor face to face.
Even though, I'm a nice, sweet woman, I'm Italian, and we're fiery.
Not only is the neighbor on what Lorraine claims is her property, she is putting up her own no trespassing signs.
When a legal representative
That sign's
tells
coming
me
down. And I spoke with the sheriff, by the way, and he said anything you place on my property now is mine.
Do you know that in 60 years of my family living here, we've never had anything, any kind of
really
issue?
Care.
No, you don't.
I'm new here.
That's the problem.
This is my property.
No, you don't tell me what I know.
Right now, you are trespassing
Let me tell
my
you
property.
to get off my property.
As the neighbors refuse to back down, the situation escalates.
I understand.
Making them.
The adrenaline is flowing, and I'm angry. I'm pissed off.
Don't tell me
understand
what I
it.
know.
You don't.
I don't back down to bullies.
You're gonna get out of my face. Right,
that
listen,
pink line?
until a judge tells me that one is
See that
mine.
pink line?
Get the out of my face.
See, this is my property.
I see.
You are a liar. Your husband is a liar. You thought when he was dead that you could get away with the deception. And any agreement that you had with him
Nothing.
died with him.
The confrontation ends when the neighbor leaves. But 2 days later, Lorraine finds her neighbor's husband by the gate that marks the entrance to the contested land. He is wearing a ski mask and carrying what appears to be a gun.
This is my neighbor. He just took his equipment and knocked down my brand new gate.
I believe that they feel entitled to my property. They were going to show me that they were the boss and they were going to get rid of my gate.
Despite reporting the incident to the police, no charges are filed, and from that day on, Lorraine alleges her neighbors wage a war of intimidation against her.
Guess who's photographing my property again? Now she sees that I'm photographing her. There she goes.
She claims they drive past her home, honking their horn and hurling insults.
I do not feel safe here.
And shockingly, Lorraine finds what appear to be bullet holes on her no trespassing signs. And she suspects her neighbors are the culprits.
I was angry. I was frustrated. What am I going to do?
For 3 years, this conflict continues, and Lorraine is so upset by her neighbor's behavior, she takes them to court for trespassing, stalking, and harassment. But to her dismay, the judge dismisses the case for lack of evidence.
He did not address the trespassing. He did not address the harassment. No, I was not granted a restraining order.
However, when Lorraine commissions a survey, she claims this proves the contentious land is part of her property after all. So now she has a plan.
That 1.67 acres across the street, I have listed for sale.
While her relationship with her neighbors is still poor, Lorraine is not giving up on her country dream.
I believe that my neighbors would like to believe that they're going to get the better of me. Are they trying to scare me into just picking up and leaving? Well, I'll tell you that will never happen.
There she goes.
As we've learned on Neighborhood Wars, neighbors and campsites don't always get along.
We were told. This is our campsite. We were told that we can get to the river from here.
The ranger!
And on a campsite in Greens Lake, Australia, a fight has erupted because the neighbor in the blue top is angry that the man filming has got his vehicle stuck in the mud.
You gonna get a shovel and clean all this up again?
Not with that attitude, I'm not.
You want to bet?
The neighbor in the hoodie just tried to park his RV in an open spot, not realizing the ground is soggy. Now, his new neighbor is furious that he's churning up the field with his spinning wheels.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What?
What are you doing? You got a golf club? Look at ya.
What are you doing down here in the wet?
Mate, I'm trying to get to a camping spot.
There's no camping spots down here in the wet.
Oh, how was I meant to know that?
Well, I don't know. You look like a wet.
Oh, compliments. Cheers, brother.
Call me
brother.
After initially keeping calm, the man recording is starting to lose his cool.
Get back in your van and off your for a break your hip.
Yeah, try it.
Go on.
Try
Take
it.
your golf club, stick it up your with some stuff it.
Try it.
Yeah, off.
The unhappy camper retreats as the younger neighbor sees the funny side of the situation.
Let's go. Damn young kids.
30 minutes later, a friend arrives to tow the man recording away, and he escapes without getting bogged down in any further trouble.
Call me
brother.
In Windermere, Florida, an election campaigner is going door to door, registering people to vote, when he's approached by an irate neighbor.
Put on the doors and you're soliciting, okay?
I'm letting people know how to vote. I'm giving people power to their voice. I'm not selling anything, sir.
Get the out, I'm gonna call the cops.
I'm not doing anything wrong. This is not illegal. This is soliciting.
Get the out.
My car is over here, sir.
Get the out.
My car is over here. If you will let me pass. Thank you, Gandalf.
The man recording is not soliciting, and it seems the neighbor accepts this truth. But he is not done.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Stop and listen to me.
And the panicked election campaigner fears for his safety. The neighbor switches to his golf cart. And by now, the man recording is truly alarmed.
I'm leaving, sir. I don't want to have any problems.
Listen to me.
I'm scared of you right now.
Listen to me.
I don't want to talk to you. I'm walking away. He's blocked my car. I can't get out. You can't order me to talk to you, sir.
The election campaigner cannot escape without his car, so he summons up the courage to go back.
I'm still recording. Don't get close to me. Don't get near me. I'm still recording. Get away from me.
The police are not called, and it hasn't put the election campaigner off from getting the vote out in the future. But for now, he just wants to get the heck out of the neighborhood.
I'm not doing anything wrong. This is not illegal.
In a quiet suburb of Portland, Oregon, Kelsey Smith lives with her architect husband, Justin, and their 2 children, 10-year-old Taryn, who has cerebral palsy, 7-year-old Elias, and their 2 dogs.
I'm definitely a mama bear type. I like to make sure that my people are taken care of. Our neighborhood is a great neighborhood. I have great neighbors. Everybody takes care of their houses.
Until one afternoon, when the kids are at school, Kelsey hears the family chihuahua barking from her son's bedroom.
I was just sitting out on the porch enjoying the sunshine and chatting with my friend on the phone. My Chihuahua will not leave me alone. She's barking incessantly, and I just can't figure out what's going on with her.
Kelsey's son's disabilities mean that he needs to be monitored at night, so there's a camera in his bedroom. Now, this camera records the dog desperately alerting Kelsey to something strange on the bed.
She seemed to be leading me into the children's room. So I finally follow her in there, and I see Riley, the lab, and she's standing in the middle of a bunch of clean laundry that I had piled onto the bed, looking straight down.
What is your problem?
So I sort of walked closer. Suddenly I realized that there's a body in the bed.
Stunned, Kelsey initially believes it's her husband Justin playing a prank.
Oh my God, Justin.
But that made absolutely no sense at all because it's the middle of the workday and he's out in his studio. The point where I realized it wasn't my husband was when I saw the dirty foot sticking out of the bed, and my heart jumped directly into my throat, and I thought, oh my God, who is in my bed? The possibilities that were going through my mind were horrifying. That was the point where I realized I was in trouble.
You need to go. Just get go.
She hops off the bed, screaming profanities at me, yelling at me, threatening me, and she picks up the ottoman, rushes through the doorway, throws the ottoman at me.
Kelsey claims the footstool hits her in the upper legs as she struggles to get the woman out of her home.
I just stood my ground and guided her out the door with my dog trailing after her, making sure she goes.
Later, the police apprehend the pantless woman trying to break into another home in the neighborhood. And when Kelsey looks back at the security camera footage, she solves the mystery.
I had left the door open, and clearly she was going from house to house checking doors, and mine was open.
The intruder is charged with harassment and burglary, but later the charges are dropped. But from now on, Kelsey is not taking any chances.
I've looked into deeper security for the windows, for the door. I sympathize with the homeless people in my neighborhood, but in retrospect, it completely freaks me out that this woman was in my house.
Buckeye, Arizona is one of the fastest growing cities in the United States. But for 49-year-old mom, Liz Barup, more people doesn't mean it's any less friendly.
My neighbors are wonderful. In passing, it's always hello, goodbye, good morning, good night. If my kids are outside, they got an eye on them.
Liz lives with her 19-year-old son and 16-year-old daughter. And one day, something worrying happens to her daughter.
My daughter came home one evening about 7 o'clock. She ran in and said that a man had followed her home from the park. I checked the camera, and sure enough, there's a guy on a bike. I ran outside to see if I could see him, and he was gone by the time I got outside.
Liz has never seen the guy before in the neighborhood.
The man is about 35 years old. He's probably about 5'9", 200 pounds, tattoos.
But ultimately, she decides not to call the police.
I just thought that when she was in the house, she was safe and sound, and we were in for the night. The doors were locked, and I didn't think anything of it past that point.
At 1:30 at night, as the family sleeps, a man who resembles the one from earlier appears on their doorstep. But the doorbell cam doesn't alert Liz because her phone is on silent.
When we went to sleep that night, we felt totally safe in our house.
The family has no clue they are in danger.
I fell asleep. I didn't hear any noises going on.
As the intruder looks around for a front door key, the family is unaware of the peril they face. The stranger appears to leave, but he walks around the side of the house and finds the son's bedroom window open. Shockingly, he climbs inside.
My son was asleep, and he felt somebody standing over him, staring at him, and he realizes that it's a stranger and had no idea who this man was. And he kind of jumps up. My son tells the man, "They're all waking up. They're all going to get you. You better leave now." And he went out through the same window he came in through.
In a state of fear, Liz calls the police.
911, where's your emergency? I have some guy that broke into our house and he took off.
And what's more, she realizes the identity of the intruder.
And it looked like some guy that had been riding on his bike and looked at my daughter earlier. So you didn't recognize this person? No, we had never seen him before today.
After the police watch the video, they identify the stranger as 34-year-old Jacob Ramirez and arrest him a few streets away near his home. In addition, the police have disturbing news for Liz.
When they told me that he was a registered sex offender, my heart stopped because I think back to my daughter letting me know that he followed her home and I didn't do anything about it earlier in the day.
Ramirez takes a plea bargain. He is convicted of criminal trespassing and sentenced to 20 months in prison.
It was a terrible nightmare, like a scary movie that I lived.
Thankfully, the man and his family have now moved out of the neighborhood. Liz's son and daughter have recovered after their ordeal, and the family feels well supported.
My neighbors are awesome. They were just as mad and as upset as we were, and it brought a community together.